Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Daily English Talks. I'm Mia, and I'm so happy to have you here today. In this lesson, we're going to explore 100 advanced English phrases that will help you sound more fluent, natural, and confident when you speak English. These are phrases that native speakers use every single day in real life, at work, in conversations, while traveling, or even when they're just chatting casually with friends. So get comfortable, listen closely, and try to repeat after me whenever you can. Remember, this is your space to practice, not to be perfect. When we speak English fluently, it's not just about knowing difficult vocabulary. It's about using expressions that flow naturally, that show emotion, attitude, and connection. For example, instead of saying, I don't know, you can say, I have no idea, or I haven't got a clue, which sound more natural and expressive. Imagine someone asks you, do you know where Sarah went? You can reply, I haven't got a clue. It sounds effortless and real. Now, repeat after me slowly. I haven't got a clue. Again, I haven't got a clue. Excellent. Let's try another one. Instead of saying, I agree, you can say, I couldn't agree more. This phrase is powerful because it emphasizes total agreement. For example, that movie was amazing. I couldn't agree more. It shows enthusiasm and connection in conversation. Practice it with me. I couldn't agree more. Good job. Sometimes advanced phrases make your English sound more emotionally aware. For example, when something surprises you, instead of saying, I'm surprised, you can say, that caught me off guard. Imagine your friend suddenly tells you she's moving to another country. You could say, wow, that really caught me off guard. It sounds natural, calm, and expressive. Say it aloud. That caught me off guard. One more time. That caught me off guard. Now, let's talk about phrases to express understanding. Instead of I understand, try I see where you're coming from. This phrase means you understand someone's perspective, even if you don't fully agree. For example, I see where you're coming from, but I still think we should wait before making a decision. It sounds polite and emotionally intelligent. Try repeating, I see where you're coming from. In daily conversations, people often use phrases that show empathy or support. Instead of saying, don't worry, try, it's not the end of the world. This phrase helps calm someone down gently. For example, you lost your phone? That's frustrating, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Say it with me. It's not the end of the world. Again, it's not the end of the world. Another phrase that makes you sound like a native speaker is, you can say that again. It doesn't literally mean to repeat something. It means I completely agree with you. Example, it's been so hot lately. You can say that again. Repeat it with energy. You can say that again. When you want to give advice or make a suggestion softly instead of you should, say, if I were you, I'd. This sounds more polite and natural. For instance, if I were you, I'd talk to your boss directly. Let's practice. If I were you, I'd talk to your boss directly. Now let's add some daily life context. Imagine you're meeting a friend who looks worried. You might ask, hey, what's on your mind? Instead of, what are you thinking about? It sounds much more conversational. Practice this phrase, what's on your mind? And the response could be something like, oh, nothing much, I just have a lot going on. Speaking of which, I have a lot going on is another advanced phrase. It means you're busy or dealing with many things at once. Example, sorry, I haven't called you back. I've just had a lot going on lately. Say it softly. I've had a lot going on lately. Here's another one used all the time by fluent speakers. It's up to you. It means you're giving someone the freedom to decide. Example, we can go out or stay home. It's up to you. Practice, it's up to you. Let's explore a phrase for expressing doubt politely. Instead of saying, I don't believe that, you can say, I find that hard to believe. For example, he finished a 500-page book in one night? I find that hard to believe. Repeat with me. I find that hard to believe. Sometimes in conversations, we hesitate politely before disagreeing. You can use, I'm not so sure about that. For example, everyone loves that restaurant. I'm not so sure about that. This phrase keeps your tone calm and polite while still expressing your opinion. Now, let's practice some natural connectors that make speech flow better. Instead of saying so, use that being said. For example, I like living in the city. That being said, it can be stressful sometimes. Practice, that being said. Another good one is, at the end of the day. It means when everything is considered. For example, at the end of the day, what matters most is that you're happy. Say it slowly, at the end of the day. Now let's move to expressing relief or gratitude. Instead of I'm happy, you can say I'm relieved. Example, I'm so relieved the exam is finally over. Or you could say, that's a weight off my shoulders. It means you feel less stress now. Example, I finally paid my bills. What a weight off my shoulders. Practice, that's a weight off my shoulders. Here's a phrase that expresses determination. I'll make it work. You can use it when you face a challenge, but you're confident. Example, the schedule is tight, but I'll make it work. Repeat, I'll make it work. Let's imagine you're tired and want to say you can't do more. Instead of I'm tired, say I'm running on fumes. Example, I've been working all day. I'm running on fumes. It sounds vivid and natural. When something is easy, you can say, it's a piece of cake. Example, don't worry about the test. It's a piece of cake. Practice, it's a piece of cake. When something goes wrong but you want to stay positive, use it is what it is. Example, we lost the match, but it is what it is. It shows acceptance and maturity. Now let's do a short mini practice session. I'll say a phrase and you imagine a daily situation where you could use it. It's up to you. Maybe you're deciding where to eat. At the end of the day. Maybe you're reflecting after a long discussion. I couldn't agree more. Maybe you're showing full support to a friend. It is what it is. Maybe you're accepting something that can't be changed. Good. These are all everyday emotional connectors that make your speech sound deeper and more natural. Let's continue exploring emotional tone. Instead of I'm excited, you can say I'm thrilled. Example, I'm thrilled to finally meet you in person. And when you're surprised in a positive way, you can say, that's a pleasant surprise. Example, you got me a gift? That's a pleasant surprise. When you want to sound encouraging, use you've got this. Example, I know you're nervous, but you've got this. Repeat with me, you've got this. For disappointment, instead of I'm disappointed, you can say, that's a shame. Example, "Oh, you can't come to the party? That's a shame." It sounds natural and gentle. To express uncertainty, use "I'm torn between." Example, "I'm torn between watching a movie and going for a walk." Practice, "I'm torn between." To say you're unsure but open, use "Let's play it by ear." It means you'll decide as things go. Example, "We're not sure about our weekend plans yet. Let's play it by ear." In English, advanced phrases often help soften your tone, making you sound polite and emotionally balanced. Try saying, "I might be wrong," but when giving an opinion carefully. Example, "I might be wrong, but I think she already left." This helps you speak naturally without sounding too direct. Let's review what you've practiced so far. I couldn't agree more. I see where you're coming from. It's not the end of the world. You've got this. Let's play it by ear. All of these phrases come from daily life, from the way native speakers connect emotions and meaning. Now, imagine a real dialogue. Mia, "Hey, did you finish your project?" Student, "Not yet, but I'll make it work." Mia, "That's the spirit. At the end of the day, effort matters more than perfection." Student, "True, you can say that again." Mia, "Exactly." These are how advanced phrases sound in natural rhythm. Not robotic, not formal, just real, friendly, and fluent. So remember, practice these every day, not by memorizing, but by using them. When you watch movies, notice how often you hear them. When you talk to friends or teachers, try to include them in your sentences naturally. Because the more you use them, the more natural your English will sound. That's all for this part of our journey into advanced English phrases. Keep your energy up, keep repeating after me, and keep noticing how phrases create emotion in real conversations. We'll keep building this fluency together. When you start to use advanced phrases in daily life, you'll notice how much more natural your conversations become. It's not just about sounding intelligent, it's about sounding real. Let's explore more expressions that help you express emotions, ideas, and experiences just like a fluent English speaker would. One very common phrase you'll hear is, "That rings a bell." This means something sounds familiar, but you can't quite remember it clearly. For example, if someone says, "Do you know a person named Laura Green?" You might reply, "That rings a bell. I think I've heard that name before." It's perfect for these moments when you're trying to recall something. Say it with me. That rings a bell. Next, let's learn, "It slipped my mind." This means you completely forgot something. Imagine your friend says, "Did you call your doctor today?" And you suddenly remember, "Oh no, it slipped my mind." It sounds so natural. Try it slowly. "It slipped my mind." Now let's talk about something you can say when you are surprised by how fast time goes. You can say, "Time flies." Example, "I can't believe it's already November. Time flies." This phrase is short, beautiful, and very common in everyday talk. When something feels easy to understand or predictable, you can say, "It's not rocket science." It's a humorous way to say that something isn't complicated. Example, "You just press the green button to start. It's not rocket science." Practice it gently. It's not rocket science. Sometimes you want to say that something is certain or obvious. You can use "it goes without saying." Example, "It goes without saying that you need to be on time for the interview." Repeat that. It goes without saying. When you want to describe a situation that's not perfect but acceptable, say, "It'll do." Example, "The coffee isn't great, but it'll do." This phrase is used casually when something is good enough for now. Let's now learn a phrase that native speakers use when they want to stay optimistic. Keep your chin up. It means stay positive, even if things are difficult. Example, "I know you didn't get the job, but keep your chin up. Better things are coming." Say it kindly. Keep your chin up. Another advanced phrase that adds warmth to your English is better late than never. It means it's better to do something late than not do it at all. For example, "You finally visited us. Better late than never." Now imagine someone gives you advice that makes sense. You can say, "That makes sense." It's a natural response that shows understanding. Example, "Oh, so you took a break because you were tired. That makes sense." Say it with a nod. That makes sense. In conversations, when something unexpected happens, people often say, "You never know." It means life is unpredictable. Example, "Maybe you'll win the lottery one day. You never know." When you finally understand something after a while, you can say, "Now it all makes sense." Example, "Ah, you were sick last week. Now it all makes sense." It shows realization and understanding. If something is annoying but you can't change it, you can say, "That's how it is." Example, "The trains are always late. That's how it is." It's a calm and accepting way of expressing frustration. Let's now move into phrases that show sympathy or emotional awareness. Instead of just saying, "I'm sorry for you," you can say, "That must be hard." Example, "You've been studying all night? That must be hard." It shows empathy without overreacting. Practice this tone. That must be hard. When you want to encourage someone to share their true feelings, say, "You can talk to me." Example, "You've been quiet lately. You know you can talk to me." This makes your English sound kind and emotionally fluent. Another common native expression is "hang in there." It means don't give up, keep going. Example, "The week has been tough, but hang in there. It's almost Friday." Repeat softly, "hang in there." Now let's move into phrases for giving opinions or reactions in advanced ways. Instead of saying, "I think," you can use, "as far as I'm concerned." Example, "As far as I'm concerned, honesty matters more than anything." Say it slowly, "As far as I'm concerned." When you want to add information, say, "on top of that." Example, "It was raining, and on top of that, I forgot my umbrella." This makes your speech flow naturally. If you want to be clear that something is just your opinion, use "from my point of view." Example, "From my point of view, that's not the best solution." When you completely understand someone's feelings or situation, you can say, "I know the feeling." Example, "You're exhausted after studying? I know the feeling." When you want to tell someone to relax, say, "Take it easy." Example, "You've done enough for today. Take it easy." Now let's practice a mini conversation using these. Mia, "You look tired." Student, "Yeah, I've been studying all night." Mia, "That must be hard." Student, "It is, but I'll hang in there." Mia, "Good. Remember, better late than never. Your progress matters." Student, "Thanks, Mia. That makes sense." Excellent. Do you notice how the conversation sounds soft and real? That's because we're using emotional language and natural phrasing. not robotic textbook English. Let's explore some phrases to express agreement and disagreement in polite, fluent ways. Instead of saying, I agree, we already learned I couldn't agree more. But you can also say, we're on the same page. Example, I think we should leave early. Yes, we're on the same page. Practice, we're on the same page. If you agree partly, use I see your point, but example, I see your point, but I think we need more information. This is soft disagreement, calm, respectful, and smart. When you disagree politely, say, I beg to differ. Example, everyone loves pineapple pizza. I beg to differ. It sounds classy and confident without sounding rude. If you want to sound more neutral, use that's not necessarily true. Example, English is easy for everyone. That's not necessarily true. To express surprise or disbelief in a friendly way, say, you're kidding, or you've got to be kidding me. Example, he quit his job without telling anyone. You've got to be kidding me. These phrases make your English sound expressive and alive. Let's also learn a beautiful phrase to show approval. Good for you. Example, you finally finished the marathon. Good for you. It's short but full of warmth. When someone shares good news, you can say, I'm so happy for you. Example, you passed your exam. I'm so happy for you. This is how you express joy in a natural way. Now imagine this mini scene. Mia, guess what? I finally got my driver's license. Student, really? Good for you. I'm so happy for you. Mia, thank you. It took forever, but better late than never. Perfect. You see how fluent speakers connect their feelings with phrases that sound genuine? That's what you're learning today. Now let's talk about phrases that help you manage conversations more smoothly. Instead of saying, wait a minute, you can say, hold on a second. Example, hold on a second, I need to check my phone. When you forget a word mid-sentence, you can say, what's the word I'm looking for? Example, she's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Determined. It sounds natural and buys you thinking time. If you want to move to another topic, you can say, speaking of. Example, speaking of travel, are you planning a trip soon? When you want to check if someone is listening, say, you know what I mean? Example, it's exhausting sometimes, you know what I mean? To politely interrupt, you can say, sorry to cut you off, but... Example, sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted to add something. All these phrases keep your conversations natural and flowing. They are the signs of advanced conversational control. Let's try another short dialogue for practice. Mia, speaking of travel, where did you go last summer? Student, oh, I went to Italy. It was amazing. Mia, Italy? That rings a bell. Did you visit Rome? Student, yes, I did, but I forgot to visit the Colosseum. It slipped my mind. Mia, oh no. Well, better late than never. You can go next time. Student, true. At least I learned to say a few Italian phrases. Mia, that's great. Good for you. See how alive and warm the dialogue sounds? These are the kinds of phrases that make your speech flow beautifully. Let's now learn a few to express honesty and confidence. When you want to sound direct but not rude, say, to be honest. Example, to be honest, I didn't really enjoy the movie. If you're being even more sincere, use honestly speaking. Example, honestly speaking, I think you deserve better. When you're trying to be very clear, say, let me put it this way. Example, Let me put it this way. We need more preparation. And if you want to make a point stronger, use believe me. Example, believe me, you'll feel better once it's done. Now let's add one more expressive phrase. I mean it. Example, you've done great today, I mean it. This adds emotion and sincerity to your words. Practice these together slowly. To be honest, honestly speaking, let me put it this way. Believe me, I mean it. All these phrases show emotional truth and confidence in what you say. They're used daily by fluent English speakers. Now, let's end this part with a reflection practice. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself speaking English naturally. You're having a conversation, and instead of using simple, flat sentences, you're using rich, expressive phrases like, that rings a bell. I couldn't agree more. You've got to be kidding me. And at the end of the day. Feel how it changes your tone. It makes you sound human, confident, alive. So as you keep practicing, remember, every advanced phrase you learn adds a new color to your English personality. You're not just learning words. You're learning rhythm, tone, and feeling. Keep repeating after me in the next parts. Keep shadowing my voice, and keep using these phrases in real situations. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. The more you learn advanced phrases, the more you'll realize that English isn't just a language of rules. It's a language of rhythm and emotion. You can express the same idea in many ways, but the words you choose reveal your tone, your attitude, and your connection with the listener. That's why today we're going even deeper into more advanced English phrases that will help you sound relaxed, confident, and expressive in any conversation. Let's start with one that you hear in everyday talk. Long story short. This means you're skipping the details and going straight to the main point. For example, long story short, I missed my flight because I overslept. It's simple, quick, and so common among native speakers. Try saying it softly with me. Long story short. Another useful phrase is out of the blue. This means something happened unexpectedly. For example, she called me out of the blue after 5 years. It shows surprise in a friendly, natural way. Repeat it slowly. Out of the blue. Now, when something seems very unlikely, you can say, fat chance. It's a playful, sarcastic way of saying there's almost no possibility. Example, he said he'll finish all his work before lunch. Fat chance. It's lighthearted and full of personality. Let's look at a phrase you can use to say you don't know exactly, but you're giving an estimate. Off the top of my head. For example, off the top of my head, I'd say there were around 50 people at the event. It sounds thoughtful and fluent. Practice this. Off the top of my head. Another beautiful expression is in the long run. It means thinking about the distant future, not just the present. Example, it's hard now, but it'll be worth it in the long run. Say it naturally, in the long run. When you want to say that something isn't easy but you'll manage, you can use easier said than done. Example, I know I should wake up early, but that's easier said than done. It shows understanding and honesty. When you want to describe something that happens rarely, say, once in a blue moon. Example, we go out for dinner once in a blue moon. This phrase adds color and emotion to your speech. If you want to say someone is too quick to judge or act, say, jump to conclusions. Example, don't jump to conclusions before hearing the whole story. Practice, don't jump to conclusions. Let's move to a phrase about problem solving. Think outside the box. It means to be creative or look for new solutions. Example, we need to think outside the box to solve this issue. Say it with me. Think outside the box. Now imagine you're trying to stay calm in a stressful situation. You can say, keep your cool. Example, even when things got crazy, she managed to keep her cool. Repeat, keep your cool. Another advanced phrase is on the same wavelength. It means you and someone else think or understand things in a similar way. Example, it's easy to work with her. We're on the same wavelength. Now, when something isn't clear or you're not sure, you can say up in the air. Example, our weekend plans are still up in the air. It means not decided yet. Sometimes you'll hear, take it with a grain of salt. It means don't believe everything too seriously. Example, he tends to exaggerate, so take what he says with a grain of salt. Now let's bring these phrases into a conversation example for daily life practice. Mia, hey, are you going on that weekend trip? Student, I'm not sure. Things are still up in the air. Mia, I see. Maybe you can decide last minute. Long story short, I think you should go and relax. Student, you might be right, but that's easier said than done. I've got deadlines. Mia, true, but in the long run, taking breaks helps you perform better. Student, you're right. I'll try to keep my cool and not stress too much. Mia, that's the spirit. Think outside the box. Maybe work remotely for a day. Student, ha, good idea. You and I are definitely on the same wavelength. Perfect. See how naturally these advanced phrases fit into real conversations? They make your English sound like it belongs to everyday life, not just a textbook. Let's explore a few phrases for expressing honesty and emotions more clearly. When something doesn't seem true, you can say, I find that hard to believe. Example, he finished the project in 1 hour. I find that hard to believe. When you finally accept something difficult, say, I've come to terms with it. Example, it was tough at first, but I've come to terms with it. If you want to describe doing something without preparation, use on the spot. Example, they asked me to speak on the spot during the meeting. When something feels confusing or complicated, you can say, it's a bit of a gray area. Example, the rules about remote work are a bit of a gray area. To express that you are being completely honest, you can say, to tell you the truth. Example, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure I'm ready for that. If something surprises you, but in a way that feels meaningful, use it hit me. Example, when I left my hometown, it hit me how much I was going to miss it. When you feel disappointed but calm, say, it didn't live up to my expectations. Example, the movie was okay, but it didn't live up to my expectations. To describe being very busy, you can say, I've got my hands full. Example, I can't take on another project right now. I've got my hands full. If you want to say someone is being secretive, use keep something under wraps. Example, they're keeping the new project under wraps for now. Let's add some conversational flow practice again. Mia, hey, did you hear about the new restaurant opening? Student, yeah, but they're keeping the menu under wraps. Mia, really? I find that hard to believe. The pictures are already online. Student, Maybe, but to tell you the truth, it didn't live up to my expectations when I tried it. Mia. Oh, that's a shame. Still, maybe they'll improve in the long run. Student. Yeah, maybe. I guess time will tell. Excellent. Let's keep adding to your vocabulary. When you want to say something is simple or obvious, you can use "it's a no-brainer." Example: choosing that hotel was a no-brainer. It's affordable and close to the beach. To describe something that's true no matter what, you can say, "come rain or shine." Example: we go jogging every morning, come rain or shine. If something is secret or private, you can say "behind closed doors." Example: the negotiations happened behind closed doors. When you want to say someone is fully prepared, use "up to speed." Example: I need to get up to speed on the new software. If you want to describe someone doing something very quickly, you can say "in no time." Example: don't worry, you'll learn these phrases in no time. To describe someone being completely honest or direct, you can say straight to the point. Example: I like how he's always straight to the point. If something happens rarely, you already know once in a blue moon, but another version is few and far between. Example: good teachers like her are few and far between. Now let's use a few of these together in a short practice. Mia. How's your new job going? Student. Pretty well, I'm getting up to speed with the new system. Mia. That's great, you'll be fluent in it in no time. Student. I hope so. The meetings are all behind closed doors though, so I don't know much. Mia. That's normal. Long story short, once you're fully trained, things will get easier. Student. Yeah, I guess that's true. Good opportunities like this are few and far between. Mia. Exactly. So hang in there. It'll pay off in the long run. Lovely. You can hear the music in these conversations. Each phrase connects smoothly, carrying emotion and meaning. That's what makes fluent English beautiful. It's not about speaking fast, it's about speaking naturally. Let's add a few more that deal with uncertainty or flexibility in plans. When you don't want to make a final decision yet, you can say, let's play it by ear. Example: we don't have a plan for tomorrow. Let's play it by ear. If you're waiting for something to be confirmed, say, it's up in the air. Example: the meeting date is still up in the air. To say something isn't your responsibility, use "it's out of my hands." Example: I've done my part, now it's out of my hands. When you want to say someone is doing something perfectly, say "hit the nail on the head." Example: you hit the nail on the head when you said I needed more rest. If something costs a lot, you can say, it cost me an arm and a leg. Example: that designer bag cost me an arm and a leg. When something is very easy, you already know it's a piece of cake. But another phrase is, it's not a big deal. Example: don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. Now let's end this part with a reflection practice again. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself using these phrases throughout your day. You wake up, talk to your friend, respond to messages, and naturally say things like, out of the blue, in the long run, let's play it by ear, it's not a big deal, and you hit the nail on the head. Do you feel how natural your English becomes? The secret to fluency is not just knowing these phrases, but using them without fear. The more you practice them in small daily moments, the more fluent and confident you will sound. So take it slow, repeat often, and remember, Every phrase you master adds another layer to your English fluency. Every time you practice these advanced phrases, you're training your ear, your tongue, and your confidence to work together in English. You're not just memorizing words, you're learning rhythm, tone, and the feeling behind each sentence. That's what turns English from a language you study into a language you live. Let's begin this part with a phrase that expresses giving someone credit or appreciation. Give someone the benefit of the doubt. This means you choose to believe someone's explanation, even if you're not completely sure. Example: he said he was late because of traffic. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Try saying it softly. Give him the benefit of the doubt. It shows kindness and maturity in conversation. Now imagine, you've finally realized something important after not noticing it for a while. You can say, "It dawned on me." Example: it finally dawned on me that I had been spelling the word wrong all this time. This phrase expresses realization in a calm and reflective way. When you want to say someone has the same opinion or shares your feelings, you can use "we see eye to eye." Example: my boss and I don't always see eye to eye, but we respect each other. This makes you sound polite and thoughtful when talking about agreements or disagreements. Another advanced and beautiful phrase is "take something for granted." It means you don't fully appreciate something because it's always there. Example: we often take clean water for granted. Say it slowly. Take something for granted. If you want to describe a situation that is completely new or unfamiliar, you can say, "It's new territory for me." Example: I've never managed a team before. It's new territory for me. It sounds confident yet humble. Sometimes you'll want to talk about something that's very unlikely. You can say, "when pigs fly." Example: he'll start waking up early when pigs fly. It's funny, playful, and widely used in casual speech. When something happens at the last possible moment, you can say, "at the 11th hour." Example: they reached an agreement at the 11th hour. If something becomes much worse suddenly, you can say, "it went downhill." Example: everything was fine at first, but then it went downhill. To describe someone doing something the difficult way instead of the easy way, you can say, "you're reinventing the wheel." Example: there's already a system for that. You're reinventing the wheel. When someone has to face the consequences of their actions, you can say, "face the music." Example: he cheated on the test, and now he has to face the music. Let's use these phrases naturally in a dialogue for practice. Mia: did you hear about John? Student: no, what happened? Mia: he submitted his assignment at the 11th hour and forgot to attach the file. Student: oh no, that went downhill fast. Mia: yeah, now he has to face the music. Student: poor guy. But maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt. He's been working really hard lately. Mia: true. It dawned on me yesterday how much pressure he's been under. Student: exactly. Sometimes we take people's efforts for granted. Mia: that's so true. We don't always see eye to eye, but everyone's doing their best. Great practice. Notice how that conversation feels real, emotional, and full of meaning. That's what advanced English sounds like. It's human and expressive, not robotic or stiff. Now let's move to a few more that describe feelings and reactions in life situations. When you want to describe feeling unsure or mixed about something, say, I'm on the fence. Example, I'm on the fence about buying a new phone. It means you haven't decided yet. To say something is very clear or simple, you can say, it's crystal clear. Example, your instructions were crystal clear. If you want to express being extremely happy or excited, use I'm over the moon. Example, I got the job, I'm over the moon. When you want to express anger calmly, say, that really gets on my nerves. Example, it really gets on my nerves when people interrupt me. If you're trying to calm yourself down, you can say, I'm keeping it together. Example, I'm stressed, but I'm keeping it together. Now, to express being very busy or under pressure, we already used, I've got my hands full, but another one is, I'm swamped. Example, I can't meet today, I'm swamped with work. If something happens exactly as expected, you can say, right on cue. Example, I was just talking about her, and right on cue, she called. Let's put some of these into a small story to feel their rhythm. Mia, you look tired today. Student, yeah, I'm swamped with assignments. Mia, I know the feeling, but keep it together. You're doing great. Student, thanks. I'm kind of on the fence about taking that extra class, though. Mia, if it's too much, skip it. You don't want to stress yourself out. Student, true. It really gets on my nerves when I don't have time for myself. Mia, you'll manage. Once you finish everything, you'll be over the moon. Student, I hope so. The end of the semester feels far away. Mia, time flies. You'll get there. Excellent rhythm. That's how you integrate phrases naturally, by feeling the tone of each situation rather than memorizing them one by one. Now let's add some more advanced expressions for giving opinions or reactions thoughtfully. When you want to say that something doesn't matter much, use it's beside the point. Example, whether he's right or wrong is beside the point. We just need a solution. If something happens naturally without being planned, say, it just happened on its own. Example, we didn't plan it, it just happened on its own. When you want to sound supportive but realistic, say, it's easier said than done. You already practiced this one before, but it's worth repeating because native speakers use it all the time. If you want to describe something that doesn't happen often, say, it's few and far between. Example, good opportunities like this are few and far between. When someone does something risky, you can say, you're walking on thin ice. Example, you're walking on thin ice if you keep missing deadlines. To describe someone who must accept something unpleasant, say, bite the bullet. Example, I didn't want to apologize, but I had to bite the bullet. And if you want to say something is very expensive, we already know it cost an arm and a leg, but another one is, it broke the bank. Example, that vacation almost broke the bank. Now, when you're completely honest about something painful, you can say, to make matters worse. Example, it started raining, and to make matters worse, I forgot my umbrella. Let's practice with another short, realistic conversation. Mia, did you hear about Emma's car problem? Student, yeah, she said the repair almost broke the bank. Mia, oh no, and she just bought it, didn't she? Student, exactly. To make matters worse, she got stuck in traffic for hours. Mia, ouch, she must be frustrated. Student, for sure, but she'll bite the bullet and move on. She's tough. Mia, yeah, Emma always keeps her cool, even when things go downhill. Beautiful flow. Notice how these idiomatic phrases carry emotion, sympathy, humor, encouragement, all in just a few words. That's the heart of advanced English. Let's now explore expressions that native speakers use when talking about time, goals, or experience. When you want to say something will happen eventually, you can say sooner or later. Example, sooner or later, you'll have to make a decision. If you want to describe something that happens again and again, you can say time and time again. Example, time and time again, I've told him to be careful. When you want to describe making the most of something, you can say, make the most of it. Example, even if it rains, we'll make the most of our trip. If you're trying to start fresh, say, turn over a new leaf. Example, this year I'm turning over a new leaf and focusing on my health. To describe something that's done perfectly, you can say, spot on. Example, your pronunciation was spot on. When something is exactly the right moment, you can say, it's about time. Example, it's about time you took a break. Now, for something you want to emphasize as very close, say, just around the corner. Example, don't give up. Success is just around the corner. When you feel ready to begin something challenging, say, I'm up for the challenge. Example, this project is tough, but I'm up for the challenge. Let's connect these into another small practice. Mia, how's your English practice going? Student, pretty well. I'm turning over a new leaf this month. Mia, that's wonderful. Keep going. Your progress is spot on. Student, thanks. I'm up for the challenge this time. Mia, good. Remember, success is just around the corner. Student, I'll make the most of every lesson. Mia, that's the right attitude. Sooner or later, you'll see how much you've improved. Every one of these phrases helps you express time, motivation, and effort in a richer way. Instead of saying, I'll do it soon, you say it's about time. Instead of saying, I'll try hard, you say, I'm up for the challenge. Each phrase adds style, confidence, and depth. So as we move forward, remember that fluency isn't only about speed. It's about expression. It's about choosing phrases that sound alive, real, and emotional. You're doing great so far. Keep shadowing, keep repeating, and keep feeling how English flows through these expressions like music. Every phrase you learn today is a small key that unlocks another door to confidence. Every time you learn a new advanced English phrase, you're not just expanding your vocabulary. You're building emotional intelligence in English. You're learning how to express your feelings, reactions, and personality naturally, just like a native speaker. So as we continue, keep imagining real situations, moments in your daily life where these phrases would come out of your mouth naturally and smoothly. Let's start with a phrase that shows total agreement and satisfaction. That's spot on. We touched on it earlier, but it's worth practicing again because it's so common in natural English. It means something is perfectly correct or accurate. For example, your explanation was spot on. Try repeating that slowly. That's spot on. Now let's learn another natural expression. It's not my cup of tea. This means something isn't really your style or interest, but you're saying it politely. Example, I know everyone loves horror movies, but they're not my cup of tea. It's a gentle way to express preference. When you want to describe something that's not clear or still being decided, say, We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Example, what if it rains on our trip? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It means you'll deal with the problem when it happens. To describe someone who is exactly right for a situation, use fits the bill. Example, we need someone experienced. She fits the bill perfectly. Now, imagine you want to describe a small mistake that doesn't really matter. You can say, no biggie. Example, you forgot my name? No biggie. This is casual and friendly. When you want to sound supportive and kind, say, more power to you. Example, you want to start your own business? More power to you. It's an encouraging and positive way to wish someone success. Let's combine these into a short conversational scene to hear how they sound naturally. Mia, did you watch that new horror movie everyone's talking about? Student, no, it's not my cup of tea. I prefer documentaries. Mia, fair enough. What about the travel show? The host fits the bill for that kind of program. Student, yeah, she's great. Her accent is spot on. Mia, totally. By the way, I might forget to bring the tickets tomorrow. Student, no biggie. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Mia, ha, true. You're so easygoing. Student, I'm learning from you, Mia. Mia, oh, more power to you. Lovely. See how gentle and natural those phrases make your conversation sound? Each one adds softness, emotion, and flow. That's what advanced English is all about. Now let's talk about phrases you can use to express uncertainty, hesitation, or polite disagreement. When you're not sure about something, you can say, I have mixed feelings about it. Example, I have mixed feelings about moving to a big city. It shows thoughtfulness. If you want to politely say that you're not convinced, you can say, I'm not entirely sure. Example, I'm not entirely sure that's the right approach. When you want to express that you don't want to rush, say, let's not jump the gun. Example, let's not jump the gun. We should get all the facts first. Another advanced phrase is, it's open to interpretation. This means something can be understood in different ways. Example, the ending of that movie is open to interpretation. To express that something seems strange or suspicious, say, something doesn't add up. Example, he said he was home all night, but something doesn't add up. Now let's practice these in a daily life dialogue. Mia, did you hear the news about the new company policy? Student, yeah, but something doesn't add up. Mia, I agree. It's open to interpretation. Student, exactly. I have mixed feelings about it. Mia, same here. Let's not jump the gun though. Maybe more details will come later. Student, you're right. I'm not entirely sure what's true yet. Excellent practice. These are the types of phrases that make your English sound intelligent and emotionally balanced. They show reflection, not reaction. Now let's move into phrases for expressing gratitude, sympathy, and encouragement in deeper, more advanced ways. Instead of saying, thank you very much, try, I really appreciate it. Example, I really appreciate your help today. When you want to express deep gratitude, use, I can't thank you enough. Example, you stayed up all night helping me study. I can't thank you enough. To express sympathy, you can say, my heart goes out to you. Example, my heart goes out to everyone affected by the storm. If you want to cheer someone up, you can say chin up. Example, you did your best, chin up. To motivate or support someone, say, you're doing great, keep it up. Example, You've improved so much. Keep it up. When you want to compliment someone sincerely, say, you've outdone yourself. Example, wow, this cake is amazing. You've outdone yourself. And when you want to show that you understand someone's struggles, say, I know what you mean. Example, it's hard to stay focused sometimes. I know what you mean. Let's put a few of these into practice again. Mia, hey, you finished your project. Congratulations. Student, thanks, Mia. It was tough, but I made it. Mia, you've outdone yourself. I can't thank you enough for working so hard. Student, aw, I really appreciate that. Mia, keep it up. You're improving every day. Student, thanks. It means a lot coming from you. Mia, chin up and keep moving forward. The best is yet to come. These are real emotional conversations. They sound human, caring, and fluent. Every phrase you just practiced is used naturally by native speakers to show warmth and empathy. Now let's explore some advanced expressions for describing effort, mistakes, and experiences. When you want to describe trying your best, say, give it your all. Example, whatever you do, give it your all. If something doesn't go as planned, but you keep trying, use learn the hard way. Example, I forgot to back up my files and lost everything. I learned the hard way. When something happens by chance, you can say, by a stroke of luck. Example, by a stroke of luck, I found my lost wallet. If something is very close to happening, say, by the skin of my teeth. Example, I caught the train by the skin of my teeth. To describe handling a tough situation successfully, say, pull it off. Example, we didn't think we could do it, but we pulled it off. When something works out unexpectedly, you can say, it worked out in the end. Example, it was stressful, but it worked out in the end. And to describe a situation that goes completely wrong, use go south. Example, everything was fine until the system crashed. Then it all went south. Now a quick conversational scene with these phrases. Mia, how was your presentation? Student, it was chaotic at first, but I pulled it off. Mia, that's great. I knew you would. Student, yeah, but I almost missed my turn by the skin of my teeth. Mia, oh wow, that must have been stressful. Student, it was, but by a stroke of luck, the audience loved it. Mia, see, it worked out in the end. Student, yeah, though I learned the hard way to double-check my slides next time. Mia, happens to the best of us. Perfect. This is how fluent speakers naturally tell stories about their experiences. These idioms make your storytelling colorful and alive. Now let's add a few phrases that describe reactions to new ideas or situations. When you want to say you're thinking deeply, say, it got me thinking. Example, that documentary got me thinking about how much we waste. If something feels strange or uncomfortable, say, it doesn't sit right with me. Example, the way he spoke to her doesn't sit right with me. When you suddenly realize something true, say, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Example, when she left, it hit me like a ton of bricks how much she meant to me. If you want to describe being amazed or shocked, say, it blew my mind. Example, the special effects in that movie blew my mind. When something happens unexpectedly in your favor, say, it took me by surprise. Example, her kindness took me by surprise. And when you finally understand something after a long time, you can say, now I get it. Example, after practicing for weeks, now I get it. Let's bring these phrases into one emotional mini dialogue. Mia, so how did you feel after watching that speech? Student, honestly, it blew my mind. Mia, really? What part stood out to you? Student, the ending. It got me thinking about how I treat my time. Mia, that's powerful. Student, yeah, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I've been ignoring my own goals. Mia, wow, that's a big realization. Student, it doesn't sit right with me anymore to waste my days. Mia, then you're growing. Change often takes us by surprise. Student, exactly, but now I get it. Beautiful rhythm, isn't it? Each phrase expresses emotion, reflection, surprise, growth. That's what advanced English gives you. Not just words, but emotional fluency. So keep repeating these with me. Feel them, don't just memorize them. Because real fluency is not about how many words you know, it's about how deeply you can express yourself in another language. When you use phrases like, "it got me thinking," "it doesn't sit right with me," or "now I get it," you're not translating, you're living English. And that's where true confidence begins. Keep going, keep shadowing, keep breathing with the rhythm of English. You're doing amazing. Every phrase you've learned so far has brought you closer to sounding natural, confident, and emotionally expressive in English. And now, in this part, we're going to keep building that fluency by adding even more advanced expressions that people use in daily life, at work, and in conversations where they want to sound polite, intelligent, or sincere. Remember, English fluency isn't just about speaking quickly. It's about sounding calm, clear, and connected. Let's start with one that helps. You stay calm in difficult situations. Go with the flow. It means to accept things as they happen instead of trying to control everything. Example, I wanted to plan everything perfectly, but sometimes you just have to go with the flow. Try saying it softly with me. Go with the flow. Next, imagine you're talking about something that's not your responsibility or not your decision. You can say, "It's out of my hands." Example, I've done everything I can. Now it's out of my hands. This phrase is often used to show calm acceptance when you can't control the outcome. Now, let's talk about facing something that feels difficult or uncomfortable. You can say, "Step out of your comfort zone." Example, if you want to grow, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Repeat with me, step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes, when things get confusing or unclear, you can say, "I'm in over my head." Example, I agreed to lead the project, but I think I'm in over my head. This means the situation feels bigger than you expected. If you want to say you're ready to face something difficult, use "bring it on." Example, the exam is tough, but bring it on. It's a confident, enthusiastic phrase that shows determination. When you're in a situation that could be risky or uncertain, you can say, "It's touch and go." Example, the surgery was touch and go for a while, but she's fine now. It means things could have gone either way. To describe someone who gets nervous easily, you can say, "He has cold feet." Example, he was ready to propose, but he got cold feet at the last minute. Now, when you want to express that you're giving your full attention or energy, say, "I'm all in." Example, this project is challenging, but I'm all in. It shows full commitment and excitement. Let's use some of these phrases in a natural daily conversation. Mia, are you ready for the big presentation tomorrow? Student, honestly, I'm a bit nervous. I think I'm in over my head. Mia, That's normal before a big event. Just step out of your comfort zone. Student. I'll try. I've practiced a lot. Mia. Good. Go with the flow. Don't overthink it. Student. Yeah, I'll give it my best shot. Mia. That's the spirit. Bring it on. Student. Exactly. I'm all in now. Mia. That's what I like to hear. Beautiful rhythm. This is how fluent English sounds when people speak confidently yet naturally. Calm, expressive, and real. Now let's move to some phrases that native speakers often use to describe unexpected experiences or life lessons. When something happens that teaches you a lesson, you can say, "It was a wake-up call." Example, failing that exam was a wake-up call for me to study harder. If something happens, perfectly by chance, say, "Everything fell into place." Example, at first it was chaotic, but eventually everything fell into place. When something becomes clear after confusion, you can say, "The penny dropped." Example, I couldn't understand it before, but when she explained it again, the penny dropped. When you want to describe something that gives you a new perspective, you can say, "It opened my eyes." Example, traveling alone really opened my eyes to different cultures. To describe a situation that helps you improve, even if it's tough, say, "It was a blessing in disguise." Example, losing that job was a blessing in disguise. I found a better one. When you describe something that's hard but helps you grow, you can say, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Example, that experience was tough, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Now let's see these phrases in a conversation. Mia, you seem so positive these days. What changed? Student, I guess failing that course was a wake-up call. Mia, ah, I see. So it actually helped you. Student, yeah, it was a blessing in disguise. I found a mentor afterward. Mia, that's great. So everything fell into place in the end. Student, exactly. It opened my eyes to how much I could improve. Mia, that's the beauty of growth. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Wonderful. Notice how natural this dialogue feels. It's emotional, reflective, and completely conversational. Now let's add some more everyday advanced expressions that you can use in daily talk. When you want to say something feels easy or familiar, say, "It's second nature to me." Example, typing quickly is second nature to me now. If something is happening slowly but surely, say, "Little by little." Example, I'm improving little by little. To describe something that's very uncertain or unpredictable, you can say, "It's anyone's guess." Example, when will the rain stop? It's anyone's guess. If something seems impossible to change, you can say, "That ship has sailed." Example, I wanted to apply for that job, but the deadline passed. That ship has sailed. When something becomes worse or chaotic, say, "All hell broke loose." Example, the lights went out and all hell broke loose. If something takes too long or happens very slowly, you can say, "It's dragging on." Example, this meeting is dragging on forever. And if you want to express being done with something or losing patience, say, "I've had enough." Example, I've had enough of waiting. Now let's make a little dialogue with these expressions. Mia, you've been waiting here for an hour? Student, yeah, this meeting is dragging on. Mia, I can imagine I would have had enough by now. Student, honestly, I almost left. Mia, sometimes it's better to go with the flow. Student, maybe, but I feel like that ship has sailed. Mia, maybe. But little by little, things will get better. Student, you're right, it'll work out in the end. Mia, of course, it always does. Perfect pacing. It sounds like real human talk. Natural pauses, emotions, and rhythm. Now, let's go deeper into phrases that describe honesty, understanding, and emotional connection. When you want to be very clear about your feelings, you can say, to be perfectly honest. Example, to be perfectly honest, I didn't enjoy the movie. When you describe someone who is very direct, you can say, he calls a spade a spade. Example, she doesn't sugarcoat things. She calls a spade a spade. To describe someone who says things too bluntly, you can say, he doesn't mince his words. Example, he didn't mince his words when he told me I was wrong. When you want to admit something softly, use I hate to admit it, but. Example, I hate to admit it, but you were right. If you want to describe something as completely clear or obvious, say, it's as clear as day. Example, it's as clear as day that she loves her job. When you finally understand something clearly, say, it all adds up now. Example, I read the whole report. It all adds up now. And when you realize you were wrong about something, say, I stand corrected. Example, oh, I thought she was from Canada. I stand corrected. Let's try these in another mini conversation to bring them to life. Mia, so do you still think he'll quit the team? Student, actually, I stand corrected. He's more motivated than ever. Mia, ah, that's good to hear. Student, yeah, to be perfectly honest, I misjudged him. Mia, happens to all of us. At least you can admit it. Student, true, I hate to admit it, but you were right about him. Mia, ha, I knew it. It's as clear as day he loves what he does. Student, he really does. He doesn't mince his words, but he's honest. Mia, exactly. Sometimes it's better to call a spade a spade. These are all wonderful advanced phrases that show emotional awareness, self-reflection, and sincerity. They help you sound mature, thoughtful, and honest when you speak English. Now let's add a few expressions that help you sound more encouraging and confident when motivating others. You can say, the sky's the limit. Example, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. The sky's the limit. When you want to tell someone to keep going, say, don't lose heart. Example, you didn't pass this time, but don't lose heart. If you want to say success takes time, say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Example, keep practicing. Rome wasn't built in a day. To remind someone that their effort matters, say, every little bit counts. Example, even 10 minutes of practice helps. Every little bit counts. When something seems difficult but possible, use, where there's a will, there's a way. Example, you'll find a solution. Where there's a will, there's a way. Let's practice one final short scene for this part. Mia, I've been trying to improve my writing, but it's so hard. Student, don't lose heart. You've already come so far. Mia, thanks. Sometimes it feels like I'm not improving. Student, you are. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Mia, true, I'll keep going then. Student, good, every little bit counts. Mia, you're right. Where there's a will, there's a way. Student, exactly, the sky's the limit. Every one of these phrases teaches you not just grammar or vocabulary, but emotion, patience, confidence, hope, and understanding. That's what advanced fluency really means. You're doing so well. Keep breathing, keep listening, and keep repeating with me. The more you practice, the more these phrases will become second nature. They'll start flowing naturally from your mouth, not because you memorized them, but because they've become a part of you. So let's keep moving forward, one phrase at a time, one feeling at a time. Because fluency isn't about perfection, it's about connection. Every time you repeat these phrases, you're training your mind to think naturally in English. You're teaching yourself not just words, but ways of reacting, feeling, and connecting. That's why advanced phrases are so powerful. They're small pieces of emotional intelligence hidden inside language. In this part, let's explore expressions that help you sound thoughtful, professional, and calm under any circumstance. Let's begin with a phrase that shows understanding and empathy. I can relate to that. This means you've experienced something similar, and you understand how the other person feels. For example, I know how stressful exams can be. I can relate to that. It makes conversations warmer and more human. If you want to show that something makes sense emotionally, say, that resonates with me. Example, when she said we need to slow down and breathe more, that really resonated with me. Now, when you want to admit that something surprised you in a good way, you can say, it exceeded my expectations. Example, the movie exceeded my expectations. It was so much better than I thought. To describe something you were expecting to be different, say, it's not what I had in mind. Example, thanks for helping, but this design isn't quite what I had in mind. When something matches perfectly with your thoughts or plans, you can say, that's exactly what I was going for. Example, you chose the same idea I had. That's exactly what I was going for. To show that you completely understand someone's situation, use I've been there. Example, you feel nervous about speaking English in public? Don't worry, I've been there. Let's put a few of these phrases together in a natural short dialogue. Mia, I finally gave my first presentation in English today. Student, that's amazing. How did it go? Mia, honestly, it exceeded my expectations. I didn't forget any words. Student, I can relate to that feeling. It's such a relief. Mia, exactly. The only thing I'd change is my slides. They weren't what I had in mind. Student, still, it sounds great. You spoke clearly and confidently. Mia, thanks. That's exactly what I was going for. Student, see, you did it. Mia, yeah, it feels good. I've been there. Now I understand why people love public speaking. See how natural that sounds? Each phrase expresses emotion, satisfaction, empathy, realization, all in smooth conversational rhythm. Now let's learn some advanced phrases you can use when things go wrong or plans change unexpectedly. If you want to say something failed suddenly, you can say, it fell through. Example, our weekend trip fell through because of the weather. When something happens by coincidence, you can say, as luck would have it. Example, as luck would have it, I met my old teacher at the airport. If you want to describe an unexpected problem, say, it threw me off. Example, the sudden question threw me off during the interview. To describe something that causes chaos or confusion, you can say, it turned everything upside down. Example, the new manager's rules turned everything upside down. When you want to express that things didn't go smoothly, say, it was a bit of a roller coaster. Example, the first week at my new job was a bit of a roller coaster. And to say you handled something well despite challenges, use I managed to stay afloat. Example, it was stressful, but I managed to stay afloat. Now, let's turn these phrases into another soft practice conversation. Mia, so how did your group project go? Student, it was a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. Mia, oh, what happened? Student, the presentation plan fell through at the last minute. Mia, oh no, that must have thrown you off. Student, yeah, but as luck would have it, we improvised and it turned out fine. Mia, wow, good save. Student, yeah, the last few days turned everything upside down, but I managed to stay afloat. Mia, that's impressive. You handled it like a pro. Great. You can feel the emotional balance in that. Dialogue, frustration, acceptance, recovery, all flowing naturally. That's exactly what makes advanced English sound so real. Now let's focus on expressions that make your tone more thoughtful and reflective when you're sharing opinions. When you want to say that something sounds logical, you can use that adds up. Example, you said he left early because of traffic. Yeah, that adds up. To say something doesn't make sense, say, it doesn't hold water. Example, his excuse doesn't hold water. He was clearly late. When you're unsure but want to stay open-minded, use, I'll keep an open mind. Example, I don't usually like this kind of music, but I'll keep an open mind. If you want to sound like you're giving a fair opinion, say, in all fairness. Example, in all fairness, she did try her best. When something gives you a feeling that something's wrong, you can say, something feels off. Example, I don't know why, but something feels off about this plan. And to describe understanding something after confusion, say, it finally clicked. Example, after practicing pronunciation for weeks, it finally clicked. Let's practice another everyday conversation with these. Mia, did the meeting go as planned? Student, not exactly. Something felt off from the start. Mia, why's that? Student, the schedule didn't hold water. It kept changing. Mia, that adds up. They didn't seem prepared last week either. Student, true, but in all fairness, they tried. Mia, that's kind of you. So how did it end? Student, after some confusion, it finally clicked. We reached an agreement. Mia, good. It's nice when things come together like that. Student, yeah, I'm just glad I kept an open mind. Beautiful flow again. You can almost hear the calmness and warmth in that exchange. That's exactly how advanced speakers sound in real life. Clear, emotional, and balanced. Now, let's move into some expressions that describe confidence, effort, and determination. When you want to say you're ready to face any challenge, say, I'm up for it. Example, it's a big task, but I'm up for it. To express strong motivation, use, I'm determined to make it happen. Example, no matter how long it takes, I'm determined to make it happen. If something requires more effort, say, it'll take some doing. Example, finishing this project by Friday will take some doing. When you want to say you'll do whatever it takes, say, I'll go the extra mile. Example, if it helps the team, I'll go the extra mile. To describe giving something your full focus, say, I'm giving it my best shot. Example, I might fail, but I'm giving it my best shot. If you want to encourage someone else, say, you've got this. Example, don't worry about the interview. You've got this. Let's build another realistic mini-scene with these motivational phrases. Mia, Are you nervous about tomorrow's English exam? Student. A little, but I'm giving it my best shot. Mia. That's the spirit. You've got this. Student. Thanks. It'll take some doing, but I've practiced a lot. Mia. Good. Remember, success takes patience. Student. Yeah, I'm up for it though. I'll go the extra mile. Mia. That's what I love hearing. You're determined to make it happen. Student. Absolutely. I've come too far to stop now. Excellent energy. Notice how these phrases create momentum. They carry motivation and confidence into your speech naturally. Now let's learn a few more advanced expressions that help you sound polite, diplomatic, and professional, perfect for work or serious discussions. When you want to politely disagree, say, I see where you're coming from, but... Example, I see where you're coming from, but I think we need another option. If you want to suggest something gently, use have you considered. Example, have you considered trying a different method? When you're giving feedback carefully, say, you might want to. Example, you might want to double-check that email before sending it. If you're unsure but giving an opinion, say, as far as I can tell. Example, as far as I can tell, the data looks accurate. To sound tactful when discussing mistakes, say, it could have been handled better. Example, the meeting could have been handled better. And when you want to acknowledge both sides, say, there's truth on both sides. Example, it's a tough debate. There's truth on both sides. Let's connect these into one more soft, real-life practice dialogue. Mia. So, how do you think the team meeting went? Student. Honestly, it could have been handled better. Mia. I agree. But as far as I can tell, everyone tried to cooperate. Student. Yeah, there's truth on both sides. Mia. Right. I see where you're coming from, but we can still improve communication. Student. True. Have you considered sending a summary email after meetings? Mia. That's a great idea. We might want to start doing that regularly. Perfect balance. Each of these phrases sounds polite, intelligent, and natural, ideal for work, studies, or any situation where you want to sound professional yet friendly. Now, before we close this part, let's take a deep, reflective moment. Think about how far you've come since the beginning of this lesson. You've practiced dozens of advanced phrases, from out of the blue to go the extra mile, from it dawned on me to I see where you're coming. From. Each one is a key that opens new possibilities in your English conversations. And here's the secret. It's not about memorizing them all. It's about letting them live inside your daily speech. When you talk about your day, when you write a message, when you think in English, these phrases will quietly appear, one by one, helping you sound natural, confident, and connected. So keep breathing, keep listening, and keep repeating. Because the more you use English with heart, the more English becomes a part of who you are. You've come a long way through this journey of advanced English phrases. Each expression you've learned carries its own rhythm, emotion, and story. By now, you're not only learning how to speak English, you're learning how to feel it. The more you practice these phrases, the more you'll notice that your English begins to flow naturally, almost effortlessly, like water finding its way downstream. Let's begin this final part with phrases that express endings, closure, and reflection. Because in real life, every experience teaches us something before it ends. When you want to describe something coming to a natural conclusion, you can say, it ran its course. Example, our study group ran its course, and we all moved on to new things. It's a gentle, mature way to talk about things ending naturally. If you want to express that you're ready to move forward, use time to turn the page. Example, the project is done. Time to turn the page and start fresh. When something changes completely or improves after a tough time, say, a breath of fresh air. Example, the new teacher is a breath of fresh air. If you're describing something that's truly inspiring, say, it was a game changer. Example, learning to think in English was a game changer for me. And when you want to describe something that ended well despite the challenges, use all's well that ends well. Example, we faced so many problems, but all's well that ends well. Let's bring a few of these into a warm conversation. Mia, so how did your group project finally end? Student, it was rough at first, but all's well that ends well. Mia, that's great. Did you feel relieved afterward? Student, yes, it felt like a breath of fresh air. Mia, good for you. Sometimes projects just run their course. Student, exactly. It's time to turn the page and start something new. Mia, and that's the best mindset. Endings are just beginnings in disguise. Now let's explore a few phrases that describe realization and perspective. Because fluent English is full of reflection and emotional honesty. When you finally understand something important about yourself, you can say, I had an aha moment. Example, I had an aha moment when I realized that mistakes are part of learning. If you want to describe being uncertain but optimistic, say, I'm cautiously optimistic. Example, the results look good, but I'm cautiously optimistic. To describe something that changes your understanding completely, say, it turned my world upside down. Example, that experience turned my world upside down. When you accept something peacefully after struggling with it, you can say, I've made my peace with it. Example, I didn't get the job, but I've made my peace with it. And if you want to describe that something was difficult but valuable, say, it was worth every second. Example, learning English was hard, but it was worth every second. Let's bring these into another daily life conversation. Mia, you sound more confident these days. Student, yeah, I guess I've made my peace with the ups and downs. Mia, that's wonderful. What changed? Student, honestly, I had an aha moment. I realized progress takes time. Mia, that's a powerful realization. Student, yeah, learning English turned my world upside down in a good way. Mia, that's the beauty of growth. Student, exactly. It's been tough, but it's worth every second. Mia, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm cautiously optimistic you'll inspire others too. Perfect rhythm again. Notice how these phrases express maturity and peace, the way fluent speakers reflect on life with grace and calmness. Now let's move into a few expressions that native speakers use to close conversations naturally and meaningfully. When you want to end a conversation politely, you can say, let's call it a day. Example, we've been working for hours. Let's call it a day. If you want to say that something was a pleasure, use, it's been great catching up. Example, it's been great catching up with you. When you want to show appreciation for someone's time, say, thanks for taking the time. Example, thanks for taking the time to talk with me today. If you want to say goodbye warmly, you can say, take care of yourself. Example, It was lovely chatting. Take care of yourself. And to show that you'll stay connected, say, keep in touch. Example, I'll miss you. Let's keep in touch. Now let's bring these into a natural, friendly dialogue, just like two people wrapping up a great conversation. Mia, well, we've been studying for over an hour. Student, yeah, let's call it a day. Mia, I agree. It's been great catching up with you. Student, same here. I always learn so much from these lessons. Mia, I'm happy to hear that. Thanks for taking the time to practice today. Student, of course, I'll keep repeating these phrases later. Mia, perfect. Keep in touch, okay? Student, absolutely, and take care of yourself. Mia, you too. See you next time. These closing phrases help you sound natural, kind, and polite. Exactly how fluent speakers end conversations smoothly without sounding abrupt. Now let's add a few more advanced emotional expressions that show gratitude and reflection. Perfect for the ending of any story or moment. When you feel grateful for something small but meaningful, say, I don't take it for granted. Example, every day I get to learn something new. I don't take it for granted. If you want to express deep thankfulness, use I'm truly grateful. Example, I'm truly grateful for everyone who supported me. When you appreciate someone's constant help, say, you've been a lifesaver. Example, thanks for helping me before the deadline. You've been a lifesaver. To describe someone's support beautifully, use, you've been there through thick and thin. Example, my best friend has been there through thick and thin. And to express appreciation with warmth, say, it means the world to me. Example, your encouragement means the world to me. Let's connect these into a gentle, heartfelt conversation. Mia, I just wanted to thank you for joining these lessons every week. Student, no, Mia, thank you. You've been a lifesaver. Mia, oh, that's sweet. Student, seriously, you've been there through thick and thin, especially when I felt stuck. Mia, that means so much to me. Student, your lessons mean the world to me. Mia, and hearing that makes me truly grateful. Student, I'll never take these sessions for granted. Mia, neither will I. Teaching you has been such a joy. Isn't that beautiful? That's what emotional fluency sounds like. Honest, kind, human. English isn't just about vocabulary and grammar. It's about warmth and connection. Now, as we near the end of this journey, let's look back at the heart of what we've learned together. You've discovered phrases for every emotion: happiness, sadness, motivation, reflection, confidence, patience, and empathy. You've practiced how to agree politely, how to show doubt respectfully, how to comfort someone, how to celebrate success, and how to accept loss gracefully. Every one of those phrases adds a new color to your English personality. When you say, hang in there, you're offering strength. When you say, it is what it is, you're accepting life's reality. When you say, you've got this, you're spreading encouragement. And when you say, I can relate to that, you're building human connection. Advanced English isn't about sounding fancy. It's about sounding real. It's about being able to express exactly what you feel in any situation, in words that flow gently and naturally. So as we close this lesson, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you've done something truly amazing. You've trained your mind to think, speak, and feel in a new language. that takes courage and patience. Every time you use these phrases, every time you listen and shadow along with me, you're taking another step toward mastery. Don't rush it. Don't worry about perfection. Just enjoy the process. Because learning English is not a race. It's a journey of growth. You're becoming more confident, more expressive, and more fluent with every word you speak. So, from my heart, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for listening, for practicing, for trying. Remember, every single phrase you've learned today is a small window into the soul of English. Keep practicing, keep feeling, keep speaking. And before you know it, English won't feel foreign anymore. It'll feel like home. You've got this. Keep shining, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay curious, and remember, the sky's the limit.